When people ask me about what type of lunging variation is best, I don't really make a judgment call. What I do talk about is the ability to keep a pelvis stable and the ability to keep the pelvis in a neutral position so that when you go down into the lunge, the pelvis doesn't come forward. Because once the pelvis comes forward on one or both sides, regardless of whether it's the motion itself that makes it happen or whether you're living in that position already, that will make that lunging variation a very quad dominant lunge. If you want maximum muscle activity and balance, quads, hamstrings, adductors, glutes, glute medians, you need your pelvis to be in a neutral position. But the problem is a lot of people are not in a neutral state with their pelvis. So whatever lunging variation they do, they're putting too much emphasis on the quads and underdeveloping the other muscles of the hip. Lunges are a very common strength training exercise, and there's a lot of different variations of lunging. Two of the most common are forward and backwards, or forward and reverse. I recommend people start or do mostly reverse lunging rather than forward due to the position of the pelvis and the potential for overactivity of the lower back and quads and hip flexors if you do them forward compared to reverse. The key to all this is pelvis position. Now, in most people who come to see me, and if you know postural restoration, you know that there's a pattern where the pelvis is not symmetric, and in general, the left side is forward compared to the right. That's normal human activity for people who are right dominant, which is like everybody in the world, regardless of handedness. That's not the issue. So when people have a pelvis that's forward on one side or forward on both sides, meaning they're in an anterior pelvic tilt on both sides, it's not a permanent state that they're in. It's just a state, a temporary state at least, that they're in. It should be a temporary state, but for a lot of people, it's a long-term state. And in that situation, when their pelvis is stuck forward, it's a very, again, very common postural distortion. Pelvis stuck forward will keep quads, hip flexors, and lower back muscles overactive. So if you don't know that you have one side forward or both sides forward, you're going to be already overusing hip flexors and quads and lower back because they will be active, particularly on the left, when you're in this normal pattern of right dominant activity. So to adjust for that, you have to take into consideration what type of lunge you're going to do in regard to what is the easiest lunge to keep a more posteriorly tilted pelvis, or at least not exacerbate overactivity of the quads, the hip flexors, and the lower back. The most important thing to keep in mind are the heels. Heels give hamstrings. Toes, forefeet will give more quad. Heels pull pelvises back. They posteriorly rotate a pelvis. Forefeet bring the pelvis forward. So a lot of people who don't realize it, if they aren't bringing awareness, particularly their left heel, they're going to do a lunge. Let's say they're doing a forward left lunge. As they come forward, if they don't heel strike, that pelvis is going to come forward more, and now they're doing a lunge that's going to be really overworking the quad and not going to hit much hamstring. It'll also be activating the left lower back muscles. So if I were to have, I'm not going to have weights in my hand, but if I were to do this and I'm standing up straight for good form, which really is just arching your back, which is what we don't want to begin with, arching your back with quote unquote good form, and I do a forward lunge, everything is coming forward. My back is arching more, my pelvis is coming forward more. It's going to be very quad dominant exercise. So I could still do it, but everything is coming forward. There's going to be stress on the knee, and then I come back up, depending on how you're doing this, right? You could lengthen it, but the same issue is my heel's not staying down and it's very front-loaded on the quad. It doesn't really matter if you're doing it short or long. The same issue is going to be there. It's probably easier to do it a little bit shorter. It'll be easier to stay on your heel as you do that. So if you're going to do it forward, a shorter step will keep you more upright rather than you're going too far forward. So it'll give you a little bit more hamstring involvement and a little bit easier ability to not overuse your quads and your lower back. Now, the reverse lunge is easier to keep your body weight from going forward too much, meaning it'll be easier for you to use your hamstring and your adductor and your glutes for that matter. Okay, so remember, quads aren't bad. We just don't want quads taking over completely. They have to be working in relation, relative to the hamstrings, the adductors, and even the abs. So reverse lunge. Now, again, good form, up straight. Now, when I go back, because I'm on my heel, it's easier to stay on my heel. My pelvis will have an easier time posteriorly rotating. And here I am. I got everything. I got my hamstring, my adductor, I feel my glute medius, and my quad. Then I come back up. I got plenty of space for my back leg. And I feel all the required muscles in my legs, and I'm not arching my back. It's easier to stay in a slightly more, I'm not flexing, I'm staying neutral, meaning I'm not extending. So I'm not doing this exercise by intentionally flexing. I could do that, but I wouldn't do it with weight, but I could do it. I'm staying out of extension. I'm staying in a neutral state, which will lead to better overall strength because I'm using all the muscles rather than just a few of them. My name is Neil Hallinan. I'm a postural restoration credentialed therapist in Chatham, New Jersey. I do most of my work in person, but I also do some online consulting. You can find links to my website in the description below. Let me make a quick interjection about the idea of good form. In strength and conditioning and weightlifting in general, the idea has always been that if you have your shoulder blades back and down and you're up straight, that is actually correct form. It's sometimes, eventually, it might have gotten described as stacking your rib cage over your pelvis. Yeah, you do want to do that. The problem is, no one was taking into account the fact that humans are not symmetric. Your right side and your left side are not the same because of that bigger right diaphragm, and people like to kind of position themselves more to the right. That was never, something that people would have even thought about when they were coming up with good form. Now, the other issue was, for a long time, there was this idea that flexing your spine was really, really dangerous. In fact, that's not even remotely close to being true. And in reality, the bigger problem is a spine that's already extended and trying to flex your body on a spine that's systemically extended. That's the issue. So what we want for good form is not a static, real tight, tighten up your whole body, shoulder blades back and down, and tighten your abs and arch your back. A hard arch is not, it might be good for lifting immense amounts of weight and creating intra-abdominal pressure with a big gulp of air. The problem is it locks up your body. It's putting your brain into a state of fight or flight. So, good form is very relative. I'd rather people stay in a relaxed form, not rigid. And of course, if I were training them, they'd already be neutral and stable through their pelvis to begin with, so it'd all be a moot point. I worry about the people who think that arching the back hard is good form, because that's how it was taught for a long time. Now, I'm not plugged into that world too much anymore, so I'm not exactly sure how it's, explained these days. But back in the day, it was, arch your back, shoulder blades back, even tighten up your lats. Oh, God. People have lats that are too tight, they're suffocating them. So just be aware that good form is because, I don't even know. The idea was, keep your back neutral. Well, they're not neutral. People are already living in an extended state. They're not neutral. So arching your back more, shoulder blades back more, is really just hyperextending your spine, and it just leads to poor outcomes.